Yeah, look. From talking ghosts to talking fighters that are some boys that are bad. The ones that are known for talking shit and whooping some ass. The ones that will go to win anything for some respect. Whether it's hitting you with combos or slamming you on your neck. Just talking about the bad guys like Tony and Chael Sonnen. You trying to disrespect them, you might go and get sunned and laid out. The fighters that might even go as far to load up their gloves, make you fall on your knees with uppercuts. The ones that go and get the W by KO, say fuck the judge. The
Man
ones
with the
that turn
plan
up the
coming at you with, you already know, the man, the myth, the legend himself, J Mill. Let him know how you feeling.
Hey man, I feel great. No, I feel like shit, man. I went out last night and fucking hungover as fuck.
It's a hot ass Tuesday. Man, yesterday Vegas hit 120. What y'all hitting over there?
Dude, it's like 117 out here, man. It's
Dang,
ridiculous.
it's spicy out. It sure is. Man, you know
I'm
what was
drenched in
spicy?
sweat, man.
You know what was spicy? The bad boy of the weekend, Jay. That's what was spicy. Darren Till. Did you like my pick, Jay? I felt like it was a good pick. You know, he ain't shit riled up. And then he literally stood on his business.
Darren Till gets wild, man. He was on a really good run. He just kind of slowed down towards the end. But how do you not defend a single leg takedown when you're working with cum shot? Did you see that in the ring after in the brawl? Come on, you can't defend a single leg.
Hey, but he ended up on top. At least he ended up on top position, you know?
That's how it goes sometimes, you know.
Bro, that's crazy. I mean, the dude quit after what? 2 rounds. He just said he was getting him back ahead. And then how you gonna fight? If you can't continue, how you gonna continue to fight? That's ridiculous in my mind.
So what's Darren Till doing now? He's like a boxer now.
Well, he got suspended because he supposedly has to fix some shit. I'm not sure. He was gonna box Chavez Jr., but I guess he couldn't get his what you call it, his papers in right to travel. His visa. There we go. Pardon me. So he couldn't get his visa right to fight Chavez because Chavez is still fighting on Jake Paul's undercard. I don't know who he's fighting. He's fighting someone else though.
Yeah, Darren Till's a bad boy, but he kind of like took a deep dive. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
I agree, but I feel like, bro, this guy still has a large following. Like, this guy is hilarious. I, bro, literally, I don't know why Ariel keeps talking to him. I literally don't know why Ariel keeps talking to him because all he asks is about that nose.
Oh yeah, he's always trolling him, right? Talking about his wife and stuff. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. That this is what I'm saying. Like, who
Did it?
does these things? This guy
Did
has no
Ariel?
filter.
Did Ariel call him when he was like taking a shit or something? He like is flushing the toilet while he's talking to him.
That oh, it's one of the interactions that they mentioned in the video was his interaction with Mike Perry. Bro, I hope him and Mike Perry do end up fighting one day, whether it be boxing or MMA, because it's hilarious that he literally trolled the shit out of Mike Perry so hard.
What'd he do?
You just see the whole interaction. Oh man, look it up, or maybe I make a whole video on it. Who knows? Because it's
All right.
hilarious. Him and I don't know how exactly they started beefy. You remember the time where he Mike Perry auctioned off to be his trainer?
Uh-huh.
Do you know? Do you want to take a guess? Guess on who bought the auction?
Who?
Fucking Darren Till bought the auction in order to be his trainer, and of course Mike Perry didn't end up doing it. Also, there's a website dedicated for Mike Perry from Darren Till. Look it up. It's hilarious.
Mike Perry is one of the baddest too. We gotta talk about him soon.
Oh, who knows? I mean, you think his opposition is a bad boy too? I'm not too sure about that one now.
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out. But let's continue talking about Darren Till. What's his best moment? What do you think, Jay? What's his best moment? Well, what do you remember him most by?
I remember that he was going into the fight with Woodley, going to win the belt. He was the big next dude, and then he got submitted. Look, all of his everything I remember from Darren Till is bad. Like it's not like anything he did like good. Like I remember him getting knocked the fuck out by Masvidal.
Dang, you talking about his low points. I'm talking about still going up.
I mean, I can't tell you any highlights really.
Dang. You remember young Darren Till knocking him out with the left hands? Come
Who's he
on,
knocking out though?
man.
Like, can you even name them? Like,
The knockouts, no, but his legitimate wins, he got some good wins. I mean, the one that sent him up to fight Woodley was a good one with Wonder Boy. And I mean, if he doesn't lose to Masvidal, because literally
that guy's
they're
way
both.
bigger than Wonder Boy, though. Like, for him to cut that weight is insane. He's way bigger than fucking
Oh, I
Wonder Boy.
agree. I agree. But that's the name of the game. But see, again, he never loses to Masvidal. Who knows where his career goes, you know? And again, he was young to fight Tyron Woodley, too. Because he's still a big name, like I'm telling you, in the UK, he's still a big name. But, like you're saying, his career has spiraled out differently. We know him more for his shenanigans now than for his fighting. Because the
Yeah, I mean,
shenanigans.
look, like you say, good publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, right? So it's
That's
fine,
right.
but like he just
But at
never
the end of the day,
really.
you gotta perform. You gotta
Yeah,
perform no matter what your job is. You gotta perform.
yeah. So I mean, it's good that he has a name in the UK, but over here he's like a stepping stone.
That's true. Let's move on to his brother and the other bad boy I talked about. You disrespecting him. You say, who the fuck is this guy? David Day. Hold on. Pardon me. Rewind. I forgot. We gotta check out my boy's nickname. The Gorilla. How you feeling, Darren Till's nickname? The Gorilla.
The Gorilla, man. No, it's kind of amateur, kind of weak. I give it a 5.5.
5.5. You fighting this guy? He's a big guy, like you said. He's a big guy. You saw
No,
him
I'm
get
not.
down.
After all the shit I talked, I'm still not gonna fight him. He's way bigger than me. I'm like 5'7", bro.
The Gorilla. I mean, I like the name, but I mean, it doesn't necessarily suit him. He's a big motherfucker. Like, I mean, he'd be like a big gorilla, but I mean, I don't really think it suits him. Let's move on, like I said, to his UK brethren, David the Hayemaker Haye. What do you know him for, Jay?
Well, look, when I was in high school, I used to like
Sam!
I used to go to Walgreens and read the Ring magazine. Remember the Ring
Damn.
magazine?
You had a
And
subscription, remember?
yeah, and the first one I ever bought, it had Pavlik, Calzaghe, and David Haye. So that's what I remember him for, but I was never like I never followed his career. I was never like that big of a fan. I'm a huge fan of Calzaghe and Pavlik, but never really followed him. But that's what I remember him most for.
Damn, that's wild. Because you are a big fan of those other two. And the first Ring magazine, you end up being a big fan of the 2 out of 3 who's on there. That's wild.
But I mean, look, you got to think about it. Calzaghe was whooping people. And I think David Haye was getting ready to fight Klitschko. And then he fell off. But I mean, but Pavlik and Calzaghe they were winning.
I agree. You're right. That's a great point. David Haye to me was a bad boy. But you're right. He fell short against Klitschko because he talked hella shit. His t-shirt where he has both of the Klitschko's heads right there on the t-shirt. And then he wears it right in front of Klitschko. To me, that was a raw ass moment. But then literally that fight, I remember I was hyped. I watched that fight. It was so boring. David Haye literally just was trying to survive. He was just moving. And it's crazy because David Haye fought a bigger guy, probably not a guy that's as good as Klitschko, and Nikolai Valuev. Valuev, am I pronouncing it right? That guy's 7 feet tall, Jay. 7 feet, 300 pounds. He had like a 90-pound advantage on David Haye. But David Haye killed him on skills and rocked him too.
Yeah, look, I mean, David Haye, he was great, right? He was a champion 2 divisions. He almost had the lineal title. Klitschko ran that shit for like a decade. The Klitschko brothers were a real deal. Nobody talks about those guys enough.
That's true. And for this guy said he was going to take him out. He said both of them, and he had his heads there. And he was an exciting fighter, which is why when he fell off, it's like, dang, he really fell off. Because, man, he had some crazy times.
Fighting the Klitschko's, though, like, they got those long-ass fucking arms, dude. Like, how are you going to get in? How are you going to get in?
He couldn't.
Yeah.
And literally, like you said, after that was his moment. I mean, he had a moment, one of my favorite moments, where he collapsed him to Sora. Bro, I can't believe you don't remember that moment. He literally hooks him. I don't have a glass bottle here, but he grabs a glass bottle and smacks him on the face.
What
Bro,
the fuck? Was he in the club or what?
He was at his press conference. He literally glassed him. Like, what the hell? And then a whole scuffle breaks out. That's some, hey, if I don't know what bad boy shit is if that isn't some bad boy shit right there. Because to do that, I mean, like you said, like, hey, when we're talking off the show, you want to do some crazy shit too, Jay, but you don't want to get arrested. I'm pretty sure glassing someone's on the list for yourself, Jay. But hey, we're regular people. We would get arrested if we bust the glass on someone's face. This motherfucker did it with cameras everywhere.
That's crazy.
Let's move on to his nickname. I like him. I was a fan till he fell off because, yes, I was disappointed in the Klitschko one. But let's move on to his nickname. How you feeling the Hayemaker, Jay?
The Hayemaker for David Haye. That's good. I get the
it suits him, right?
Yeah, I get the little connection right there. I would give it, and for boxing, I would give it like an 8.
Dang, that's a good one in comparison to what you gave the gorilla over there. You fighting the Hayemaker though?
No, he's a heavyweight. I will not fight him. No way, I'm not winning that.
And of course, Jay, we predicted a fight of two bad boys, two BMFs. Of course, we got to talk about it. Of course, we do. Happened on Saturday, but we still going to talk about it. How you feel on the outcome, Jay? Hey, you said Nate. You talked that talk, Jay. You said Nate's going to make an excuse. He's going to lose. How you feel?
Yeah, look, dude, the fight was, I was very entertained. I love both those guys because we've been following their careers forever. They're the baddest motherfuckers, right? And I was very excited about the fight. I was very entertained by the fight. They're very slow the way they box. They're not the best boxers. We know that. We saw that. But I was very entertained, and I feel like Nate just going forward and throwing as much as he did, he deserved the win. But Masvidal was landing those fucking lefts, the overhand left, and I think he was hoping to drop him, and then Nate just won't go down.
And, crazy, no, he's like the Terminator. He's really not going down.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right. You're right, because I rewatched part of the fight, and of course, just like any human being, the judges, in my opinion, got swayed by the crowd. Because
I mean, how
Nate was doing something. To me, I had a 7-3 Masvidal.
No, see, I had a 6-4 Diaz.
No, I had the 7-3 Masvidal because the only time I really gave Nate any credit for those shots is when it turned Masvidal's chin. Because to me, if you're punching someone and their face is just... Look, my face is moving more than Masvidal's. I'm hitting myself harder than the punches Nate was throwing.
I know, but like the volume, you got to count the volume of him going forward.
Oh, I agree.
Going and throwing.
I agree, but then...
that'll change the perspective of the judge. And judges suck. We know that. So yes, that's enough to change the perspective of the entire fight.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you that judges don't know enough. Because again, that, in my opinion, that wasn't the biggest robbery. There was other robberies in boxing that happened that day. But like you're saying, hey, there was a couple other big boxing fights that happened in that night. And there were world champions. Shakur Stevenson, for the love of God. He's a pretty big name in boxing, but that guy, he's getting trolled right now by Cameron and Mace because he's so boring. Cameron and Mace are trolling this guy currently right now. On their show. They're trolling this guy currently, right now. Trolling Shakur because he's so boring. They're trolling him like, they're making memes out of Shakur saying, I couldn't put my baby to sleep last night, so I turned on a Shakur Stevenson fight.
Damn. I don't even know who that is.
Shakur, great. He's a great fighter, let me tell you, Jay. Look up the beef currently going on. I think you'll be a bit entertained. But like you're saying, ain't no one care about this kid yet. He's not a pay-per-view star. He's trying his hardest to be because he has the talent, but he's not entertaining.
Dude, There was a lot of good like stars or like mini stars, like juniors in that card, like Mosley Jr., the Vargas kid, Ryan Garcia's brother. Look, that fight was really good. The Ryan Garcia one was really good too, or Sean Garcia, whatever.
You're right. I was entertained by the card, and I mean, they weren't the best A+ boxers in the world, but these guys were throwing down, and that's what you truly want in boxing. You because like I said, Shakur Stevenson's probably 10 times more talented than anyone that was on that card. But who would I rather watch? That the guys who are on the card, probably. That the Vargas fight, probably that fight right there was more entertaining than all of Shakur Stevenson's fights combined. Which is crazy. Because hey, the Vargas brother and Stevenson had a little beef for a little split second, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah, man. The whole card was set up good, but it's like, as you say too, it's a bunch of boxers that are not that good of boxers, but they somehow have a name. You know what I mean? Like Danny Jacobs fighting Mosley Jr. That's such a weird thing for me because back in our day in high school, like Danny Jacobs was the man, and now he's fighting Mosley Jr.
And now, Mosley Jr. Is that what's still fighting? When we're in high school.
Yeah, so it's weird to see that. And he won, right? Mosley Jr.?
I mean, that one right there wasn't that entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. That one was probably one of the most boring fights on that card. But like you're saying, the name value still brings attention, and then you still have fights intermingle. I would have loved to gone there live. A lot of my guys that were there, they said it was all entertainment.
Let me ask you something though. What is next for Masvidal or Diaz?
I think they both still trying to cash out, or they get a rematch, depending on. It all depends on circumstances and the almighty dollar sign, in my opinion. Because who wouldn't watch that again, either in boxing or MMA? And it just depends who's going to offer the biggest checks, Because I'm sure, hey, if the UFC calls and says, hey, you guys did great, your numbers, hey, we still got to wait to see the pay-per-view numbers, too. Because what if they did so good? Because pay-per-view numbers nowadays, that's hard. Because I ain't going to lie, I haven't bought a pay-per-view in a long time.
Hey, but like even Diaz like calling out like Diaz is like really like unrational, but then it somehow works out for him. Like he's calling out Leon Edwards for the title after the end of the fight, and he has a big name now. It could happen.
You would rather watch Nate versus Leon than Leon versus Bilal, though, right?
Bro, I'd rather watch fucking the guy across the street fight Leon. Like, come on, bro.
Oh my god. And look, hey, like you're saying, name value holds so much. You know that. We all know that, especially in this fight game. That name value holds so much. For the love of God, I read something that Pacquiao's coming back. You believe that shit, Jay?
I thought he was fighting Floyd again.
No. Floyd's fighting an exhibition fight for fun in Mexico. So it's not going to break his record. Pacquiao is fighting for another fucking world title at 147.
Look, Marquez going to come out like Thanos and fight that motherfucker.
Hey, but like you're saying, hey, I'm sure any young kid would sign up to fight Pacquiao because they think they could beat him and his name value. Just like, hey, I'm sure Jake Paul still wants to fight, Jake Paul was talking shit about both of them. And it's name value. Hey, that's one thing. Pardon me. That is one thing Jake Paul's good at. Knowing what opponent to pick at the name value,
Yeah, I mean, Nate called out Jake too, but it's like he didn't really call. Like he said, "You're dead." What does that mean? Are you going to fight in boxing? Going to fight UFC? What are you doing?
See,
what do you want?
He knows what he's doing. That's what he wants. What's happening right now? That's what he wants. He wants us to talk about it, or we're the dumb fucks. We're the dumb fucks and talking about it, and he really don't give a fuck.
I think Jake Paul beats him in MMA and bare knuckle and anything. I swear to God.
Not MMA. Calm down.
And if Masvidal fucking lost, Jake Paul would beat Masvidal's ass. I'm sorry.
Hell no! Oh man, we're watching
in boxing.
Hell no. I
You don't
hope that fight happens. Bro, you literally just told me that Nate won just because of activity. But he never did anything, right?
Yeah. But
Jake Paul does not fight. Jake Paul does not fight like that.
But he he knocked him down with power. He has power.
Understandable, but what weight was that at?
It don't matter. You don't think Paul would knock down Masvidal?
Not depends on the weight.
We saw how slow he is, dude.
In my opinion, he wasn't that slow. Right. In my opinion, Jake Paul is not good. In my opinion, Masvidal won. He did amazing. In my opinion, he did amazing. I don't know what fight everyone else was watching. The fight I was watching, but of course I'm biased. Of course. I ain't gonna lie, I'm biased. But I thought Masvidal did great. He landed some great shots. Nate barely landed any good shots.
Yeah, that's true. But again,
hold on. Remember this. Styles make fights. We know this, Jay. We could talk about so many different styles that this happened and this happened. This guy beat this guy, but this guy beat this guy. The math never works in this fight game.
Yeah.
It never does. Marquez beat Pacquiao. But Marquez cannot beat a lot of the people Pacquiao beat.
That's true, but Marquez had that motherfucker's number from the get-go.
Exactly, but it's Styles. There's a lot of people that I agree Marquez could never be Antonio Margarito. I love Marquez. Margarito taking him out.
That's true. And even the Cotto matchup, which is one that I really wanted to see that one. That was like the biggest one we never saw.
Oh, they talked about an exhibition a couple years ago. I would have loved to see the exhibition still. See, but even that one's a questionable one because Cotto, again, would have never beat Sergio Martinez if Martinez had both his legs. But we're moving on. Okay, like we said, Marquez doesn't beat a Margarito, but Styles big face. So who knows with the Jake Paul and Masvidal because they're both going to throw and they're both going to try to land big ones.
You're underestimating the size of Jake Paul, though.
I'm not underestimating anything.
At what, 160?
No. I'm not underestimating anything. That motherfucker's on steroids. 100. If I could put a bet and for sure find out the actual results, I'll put all my fucking money in the world that motherfucker on steroids. You don't think he's on steroids?
I'm not gonna say that here, but
him and his brother. Hey, and Logan Paul, he's a good wrestler. Logan Paul, hey, I'm not a fan of Logan Paul, but he's a good wrestler.
He's fighting Rey Mysterio and shit, man. Like that guy, like these guys made it, right? Like
that motherfucker. Hey, that motherfucker's also on steroids. Because I know for a fact WWE wrestlers are on steroids. We all know this shit. That motherfucker has steroids too. He's a great wrestler though. Hey, I don't see anything. Hey, I don't see anything wrong with taking steroids, but when you're fighting, that's wrong. I don't see you. In my opinion, you should be able to take steroids in anything that's not a physical contact. Whatever.
Hey, in the words of Nate Diaz, everyone's on steroids.
Facts, exactly. Final thoughts on the fight. I thought Masvidal won. I want to see probably them running back in some way, some form. Honestly, I want to see them both in a boxing ring. Even though I didn't think Nate did amazing, it's better than seeing him get taken down and just do nothing, because that's if he fights someone that's like a fucking wrestler, like a Kebab or Islam, or even honest to God, if Nate fought Bilal, I don't think Nate would win, and I think Bilal's boring, because Bilal would just literally grab him and just hold him. That'd be the most boring fight in the world.
Hey, isn't that shitty, man? Like how he held Wonder Boy, he just was like hugging him, like they were cuddling in bed. It's so weird. It's a weird fighting style. But look, my thoughts on the fight.
Hold on. If that guy wins the title just by holding Leon Edwards, I don't fucking message anyone, really. I've messaged a couple fucking famous athletes. But if that fucker does that, I'm going to message him and be like, are you fucking serious?
This guy wrote out a whole dream scenario of how he would win the fight. And it was by decision. He can't even win by a knockout in his dreams. It's fucking crazy. But look,
I thought, oh my god, that guy, he literally shouldn't talk because he gets trolled.
bro, my final thoughts on the fight. It was a great fucking fight, man. I hope they both got good futures coming up. That's all I can say. And I thought that I thought Diaz won, but it was very close.
I agree.
So yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know your thoughts on the fight. Let us know your thoughts on the bad boys or who y'all thought was the bad boy of the weekend. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok. Jay, let them know.
Follow us. Peace out.
Bad boys. Let's go.